So the one thing I'm going to acknowledge is one of the major things with this, also I'm going to move this more out of the way, is this has a lot of things that are spoilery. But I think this is interesting. So I'm not going to talk about too much, but one thing I'm going to say is general stuff. I think this is an interesting way to sort of end Attack on Titans. I don't say it's wrong, but I say it's interesting. I also liked how, throughout all of this, the way that it was shown to us, how the story was shown, I would have never seen coming. So I would have known about I would have known about this. But because I watched a bit of season one, and you're like, oh, and by the way, this is what this season is, I would be like, are we talking about the same show? Not as an insult, but it's something interesting. But the one thing I am going to acknowledge is a lot of this battle, because a lot of Attack on Titan is building up to the idea that there are other people outside. Humanity isn't just the people inside of here. And then you realize the whole thing of this is realizing how war is, and how you get a lot of people saying, oh, this and that. And I like how a lot of people's argument, and I'm not saying this demeaningly, but I am saying this pointedly, is he punched me first. No, he pushed me first. And that's a very dark and a very this show is bad because of Venus. It's like, no, because I'm doing it in a mocking way on purpose, because it's very much a long time ago these people did this atrocity. One of the things, I made a video about it, one of his things long ago was like they did these horrendous things, killed civilization, killed their culture, like killed whole like countries, and then sort of like took their women and did all of that stuff, which is insane. Years later, they went onto an island, and I like that. It's like, yeah, but what did we do? It's like, because you have a conversation with two people, and I wouldn't repeat it, saying it. It's like one person says the idea of like, yeah, but yeah, it's like, why did my mum had to die? And it's like, yeah, do you realize? And it said the thing that I just said that they did. It's like, yeah, but my mum had nothing to do with that. There's a certain level of that certain things have to acknowledge past. Even I've said that like the things that the UK has done in the past and the British Empire wasn't entirely the best. But with this, you won't go to these people and say, okay, let's punish them for something that their insanely long ago ancestor did. And I think that's interesting because, one, it shows how eventually war goes down to this, 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 and it just becomes more and more about pointing at stuff. I also like the idea that the hero of the story, who's doing this suspicious thing, and it's really fun of like him being like, oh, we're gonna make sure the population like can't give birth and all this dark stuff. I like the twist of like, oh no, that was never gonna do that. No, I wasn't going to take my own country, sort of essentially, basically make us infertile, but basically do this whole thing, which would not, which would then leave a bunch of old people, uh, and it would be very interesting. Yeah, that would be very that's a fun idea, but like I love the twist. Is like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call on the ravaging, spread people around the world, and kill everyone. Good. Yeah, we're just gonna go and murder them all. Excuse me, what? No, no, this is worse. This is worse. This is not helping the situation. It's how dark it is, because like yeah, this is an idea. Do you have another piece? And I like throughout all of Attack on Titans, you are shown how much the people inside the walls have suffered because of the Titans, how much blood they have lost because of the Titans, how much death is a daily occurrence because of the Titans. But when you then see the outside world, then you hear about the stories of what the ancestors of the people in the wall did inside the Titans. It becomes more muddy. Not only because motivations are personal and there is stuff that has happened, but the reason isn't just greed, isn't just, well, it is a image that is being put onto them because of that. But you can also still see why the people inside the walls want to fight back because they don't know any of this. And there's obviously a thing of like, that is insane. Obviously, this is insanely dark overall, but I still do love it. I'm also going to have this point here. In Crunchyroll, there's an OAD, which I don't know what it's about, and there is a movie. The movie, I think, is a bit of a. I'm not going to talk much about spoilers because essentially, if it's the exact same, it's this. But I might talk about the editing a bit more. But yeah, I do think it was really fun, and I think this is amazing. But yeah, I definitely think you should watch. And yeah, I've done a couple of days like back to back to back. Sorry about that. But I hope you enjoy. I hope you like this video, and good night.